Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Monday, August 3rd, 2015. Around 7:46 in the evening, Belleville, Massachusetts. The sun's going down after a very hot, a little bit humid day and stuff. It reached 90 in Boston, but a little bit breezy. Some news to report. Singer Gwen DeSafante and her husband Gavin Rossdale have divorced after so many years. And Nesson has signed Lisa Hillary to a contract. Lisa Hillary is a longtime sports anchor for so many regional sports networks. She's going to be joining Nesson Sports Today and Nesson's Sports Update and Nesson Live. That's about it on the news. And my third and final video blog subject of the night is my personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is about the late, great, former WWE Hall of Famer and NWA World Champion Jack Brisco. Jack Brisco was one of the most famous scientific wrestlers in professional wrestling history. He held the NWA title twice in the 70s. He's from Oklahoma. He is a great amateur, was a great amateur wrestler, and won so many regional titles. Jack was born in Oklahoma, and he was part of like 5 siblings. One of his siblings is Gerald Brisco, who's a fellow WWE Hall of Famer, and he's also known as a stooge to Mr. McMahon, he would call him. Jack loved wrestling at an early age. His favorite wrestler was Lou Thesz, and he wrestled in high school, and he turned down, and he also played football in high school. He turned down a scholarship to Oklahoma, and he joined Oklahoma State Wrestling and stuff like that. Was really a Native American, and he won an NCAA championship his senior year. During the senior year, he did not get taken down once. That's pretty amazing. He trained to be a professional wrestler by former professional wrestler and wrestling promoter Leroy McGurk. And in 1965, Jack made his debut. And he won several titles in the late 60s, including the Missouri's Junior Heavyweight Championship. And then he went to Florida and won the Florida Heavyweight Championship, the Southern Heavyweight Championship. Team with Jerry Brisco, his brother Jerry Brisco. They won so many Florida Tag Team Championships, and Jack was becoming a great singles wrestler, using his patented figure 4 leg lock and also belly-to-belly suplex and other stuff. And Jack was getting known worldwide as a top wrestler, and in 1973 he was voted to become the next NWA World Champion. In July of 1973, in Houston, Texas, Jack Brisco beat Harley Race to become the NWA World Champion. It was originally going to be Jack Brisco defeating Dory Funk Jr., but Dory Funk Jr. pulled him. I heard somebody in the board of the NWA didn't want Jack Brisco to win the NWA Championship from Dory Funk Jr. They wanted kind of a non-scientific wrestler and stuff. And for the next 2 years, Jack Brisco was in demand all across the world with the NWA World Championship. He mainly wrestled in Florida. He feuded with Paul Jones, the Magnificent Morocco, Dory Funk, Bob Backlund, and so many others for the NWA World Championship. He actually dropped the NWA World Championship in a tour of Japan to Giant Bubba for 1 week, but he regained it. And then Jack Brisco continued his reign as the NWA World Champion. But at the end of 1975, Jack Brisco lost the NWA World Championship to Terry Funk in Tampa, Florida. Afterwards, Jack Brisco continued to wrestle in Florida, winning more Florida championships and stuff. And then he went to Georgia and stuff. He won the Georgia Heavyweight Championship and Georgia Tag Team Championship with Jerry Brisco. And then that's how he started to get involved in the business side of wrestling. He bought a stake in Georgia Championship Wrestling. In the 1980s, he wrestled in Florida again and in Puerto Rico and several other places. By 1982, Jack Brisco and his brother um, Gerald Brisco went to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Jack Brisco won the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Championship a few times, and then in 1983, he and his brother Gerald Brisco turned heel against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Jay Youngblood. Originally, Jim Crockett wanted both teams to be scientific wrestling feud, but the Briscoes pitched the idea of turning heel to Jim Crockett Jr. At first, Jim Crockett Jr. balked at it, but he went ahead and went with it, and then the Briscoes, like the Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood, for the NWA World Tag Team Championship, and they turned heel, and Brisco and the Brisco brothers and Steamboat and Youngblood traded the NWA World Tag Team Championship several times in a classic feud that culminated at Starrcade 1983 with Angelo King Kong Mascot the referee, and that was probably one of the 2 or 3 biggest matches on Starrcade 1983. The Youngbloods won the Tag Team Championship. Jay Youngblood and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat won the NWA World Championship. The Briscoe brothers won one more NWA World Tag Team Championship in April of 1984, but they dropped it to Wahoo McDaniel and Mark Youngblood. But something big was happening for the Briscoes in summer of 1984. Jack and Gerald Brisco was on the verge of selling George Championship Wrestling and the TBS time slot to Vince McMahon Jr., Vince, who was the owner of the WWE, and Jack and Gerald Brisco sold it without Ole Anderson's knowledge. Ole Anderson was one of the owners of George Championship Wrestling. Ole Anderson hated Vince McMahon, and he also hated the Briscoe brothers. Briscoes thought it would be a big deal for that to do it because they know national promotions were going the way of the times of cable TV, plus regional territories were being kind of stomped all over, eliminated because of Vince McMahon. And Jack and Gerald Brisco were given lifetime jobs for the WWE, plus they made the WWE debut in September of 1984. They feuded with Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch briefly, and they had a match at Madison Square Garden, but that was the last match that Jack Brisco ever wrestled. At the end of that match, Jack Brisco took his bags and packed up and moved back to Tampa, Florida, retiring from professional wrestling, and then he started an auto body shop with his brother Gerald Brisco, and that auto body shop is still in business today, over 30 years, and it was promoted in WWE in the late 1990s, and it's worth the trip. So if you want to go into the Tampa, Florida area, if you're in the Northeast, you could drive all the way down there and get your car fixed. It's worth the trip. Maybe you could stop at Orlando, Florida, or somewhere else. Maybe Julie Broughton of Local 6 goes down to Tampa, Florida, and gets her car fixed there. You never know. That'd be funny. But anyway, that was great promotion. And Jack Brisco attended wrestling conventions and other stuff. He was inducted to so many Hall of Fames, NWA Hall of Fame, Amateur Wrestling Hall of Fame, you name it. 2008, he and his brother Gerald Brisco got voted into the WWE Hall of Fame. But in 2010, Jack Brisco passed away at the age of 68 due to complications of heart surgery and stuff. Very sad day in the world of wrestling. Jack Brisco was one of the most famous wrestlers in professional wrestling history. Scientific stuff and this and that. Very surprised he did not go to the WWF in the late 1970s. There was rumors that Vince McMahon wanted Jack Brisco as his All-American Board champion back in for Superstar Billy Graham after he lost it, but that was for Bob Backlund, but he was being considered and stuff like that. Jack Brisco briefly was in the world of WWE in the like early 80s and stuff, but I think he probably had it with wrestling and stuff, and he wanted to call it a career. He probably made out a lot of money for like selling Georgia Championship Wrestling. That's about it on Jack Brisco. That's about it on these video blogs. I will be back tomorrow with 3 more video blogs. First video blog will be about the top 10 greatest NFL running backs of all time. Second video blog will be about the classic TV series Mad Luck, and the third and final video blog of the night will be about WWE Hall of Famer Harley Race the King and 7-time former NWA World Champion. Keep calm, and I'm a Julie Brennan guy, and Molly Rosenblatt, the Fox 35 Fox. And in the words of Peter Courtney, the late great maintenance man at Hard Hanks Data Technology, are you writing a book? Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Don't forget, questions, please. 12 more days into the first ever Ask Rich question and answer video blog. And coming in 2 weeks will be SummerSlam reviews beginning in 1988. Have a good night. Tomorrow.